Hi everybody. Today I want to look at this idea called point of view. In literature, there's specific kinds of points of view. For example, omniscient point of view, first person point of view, and others. But I want to look at the basic idea of what point of view is. So a point of view is an opinion, an attitude, or a judgment on or about something or on an issue. So here I've got a topic. Apple iPhone sales is the topic. And then I have this chart that's is divided into four perspectives. One from the Apple company, another is from the laborer or the person who assembles the iPhone, and the other one is the consumer, or that would be you who purchases the iPhone, and then here the country where the iPhone is produced. So we know that Apple iPhones are hugely popular, and Apple, the company, is very wealthy because of its popularity. Lots of people buy their iPhones, right? So consumers buy their iPhones. If we were to look at it from the perspective of, let's say, the person who makes the iPhone, the laborer, in many cases, although Apple is a California company, their products are often made or assembled overseas in poorer countries, because it's cheaper for them to manufacture. If we were to look at this from, let's say, the perspective of Apple, where they go to poorer countries to get cheap labor, if we were the Apple company, what is our perspective, or what is our thinking or attitude towards finding cheap labor? So, for example, let's go under the Apple box here. So you might say, well, if I'm Apple and I'm going to a poorer country to get cheap labor, okay, for Apple, it means more profits due to cheaper labor. So that's the perspective that they would take, right? But let's say I'm the laborer, and I'm the one that Apple has employed at a very low, cheap rate. And in some cases, in some countries, some of these people don't even make the Canadian minimum wage. Okay, so for example, let's say it's made in some part of Asia, and the labor is only getting paid maybe $5 a day, right? So from the laborer perspective, what is the perspective that person might think? So one might say something like this. Okay, my work is being undervalued, right? Little typo there. You might also add I feel that I am being used almost like slave labor. Alright, so that would be two examples. Let's look at this from the consumer perspective down here. So you and I who buy, let's say, the iPhone, right? If Apple is able to make the iPhone cheap for us, our perspective may be that we like this because we can afford to buy cheaper phones made through cheap labor. So if you can imagine, if let's say the iPhone was made in Canada or United States, the price of that phone would be higher, and we, the consumer, would be more unlikely to buy that phone if that phone was too high a price. So these are just some examples of different perspectives on the topic or the issue of Apple iPhones and how they make their iPhones. So here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to add to these lists. Okay, so perhaps add 2 or 3 more bullets for here, 2 or 3 more bullets for here, for the consumer down here, and then perhaps where the country's made. If you were, this is the place where the phone was made, in a certain country, what would be their perspective on Apple manufacturing, Apple iPhone sales? As always, if you have any questions, email me or see me in class.